Hello and welcome to Life Changing Tuition's Summer School 6 booklet. So today we'll be going through explanations of how to answer each question and the answer. So let's begin with VR, word analogies and number series. Okay, so question 1. Cycle is to track as barge is to canal. So these are both places where they are used. So, you cycle on a track and a barge is used on a canal. Okay, question 2. Horse is to foal as elephant is to calf, because these are both young versions of the animal. Okay, question 3. So boy is to either male, boy, or band, as ship is to either sail, or sell. So this one we're looking at the functional link. So a ship will sail like how a boy would So a boy, B-U-O-Y, would be like a homophone, so we could cancel that one out. But the closest link in this one would be how a ship is, how it functions, and how it says sail, or how a sail is a part of a ship, and then how a male is a part of a boy. So that would be the closest link with this one. Okay, question 4. Spider is to insect as frog is to reptile, I believe. Yes. So a spider is an insect and a frog is a reptile. Okay. Then red is to something as green is to something. So this one we are looking at red is to stop as green is to go, like colours on a traffic light. Then dense is to something as sparse is to something. So dense is to thick as sparse is to thin. Next, stale is to something as clean is to something. So stale is to fresh as clean is to polluted, because they are antonyms. So the opposite of stale is fresh and the opposite of clean is polluted. Smile is to grin as frown is to scowl. So these are opposites. And then question 9. Everybody is to all as nobody is to none. Question 10. Hair is to human as feather is to duck. So this is like what's on our skin. And then question 11. This will be frog is to pond as wasp is to nest. So frog is to pond as wasp is to nest. Okay, next is question 12. Fire is to hot as ice is to cold. Question 13. Glass is to transparent as wood is to opaque, because glass is transparent and wood is opaque. So we're looking at what they are in terms of their transparency and how much we can see through them. And then 14. Still is to still as meat is to meat. So this is looking at homophones. And then fly is to flew as sea is to saw. So here we're looking at the past tense. Okay, now we're going to move to page 3, which is here, number series. So complete each sequence by writing the correct number or numbers in the bracket. Okay, so this is looking at a sequence, so we need to find the difference between each number. So between 510 and 530 it's 20, and then 20 is repeated. So the answer will be 590 plus 20, which is 610. Okay, so 610 will be the answer to question 1. Next is 888, which then divides by 10 to get 88.8. So we'll just write that down, divide by 10, and then that repeats. So the answer will be 0.888. Okay. Next is question 3. So 16, 32, 64, 128. Here they are doubling, so multiplying by 2. So 16 times 2 is 32, and then 128 multiplied by 2 will be 256. Okay, then 17, 18, 9, 10, then something, 6, and then 3. So here the number that comes before will be minus 1, so it will be 5. So the pattern is that it's adding 1 and then dividing by 2, adding 1 and then dividing by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 10 over 2 equals 5. Okay, question 5, it goes 56, 28, 14 and 7. So here we are dividing by 2. So we'll just write that down, divide by 2. So the answer will be 3.5. Okay, question 6, we are also dividing by 2. So the answer will be 2.5. Question 7, well, 88 to 22 is divided by 4, and then 22 to 24 is adding 2. So we can write down that it's dividing by 4, and then adding 2. And then this repeats, so divide by 4, and then plus 2. So next we'll be divided by 4. So then 8 divided by 4 equals 2. So the answer for question 7 will be 2. Then question 8, it goes 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. So this is our multiples of 7. So next the answer will be 42. Question 9, it goes 6, 12, 24, 48, and then 96. So we can see that they are multiplying by 2 each time. So 96 times 2, well, we can explain this through the column method. So this will be then 9 times 2. So the answer for question 9 will be 192. Then we move on to question 10. So we go to from 96 to 84, which is a subtraction of 12 minus 12, and then it's repeated minus 12 each time. So 48 minus 12, if I just clear some space here, 48 minus 12 6, 3. So the answer to question 10 will be 36. Next is question 11. We go from 9 to 16 to 25. So from 9 to 16, we are adding 7. From 16 to 25, we're adding 9. From 25 to 36, we are adding 11. And here we can see the pattern that the addition increases by 2 each time. So next we'll be doing 49 plus 15. So 9 plus 5 equals 14. So we carry over the 1. And then we do 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So the answer to question 11 will be 64. Okay, question 12. 8, 10, 14, 20, 28. We can see that we're adding by 2, 4, 6, 8. So next we'll be adding by 10. So the answer will be 38. So the answer for question 12 is 38. Okay, I'll just clear some space. And question 13. it goes 9, 54, 18, 48, 27, and 42. So 9 to 54 we are multiplying by 6. Yeah. So 9 to 54 we're multiplying. Yeah, so times by 6. Then 54 to 18 we're dividing by 3. 18 to 48 seems more like an addition. Okay, so we'll write that down as plus 30. And then 48 to 27. Well, that also seems like a subtraction. So 48 minus 27 will be 21. And then 27 to 42. So that'll be 15. So that's plus 15. Okay, so what we can do here is instead okay, I see. So instead of writing a division and multiplication there, 9 plus 45 would equal 54. And then 54 minus 18 is 36. So here we're going plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. And the difference is in 9, 6, 9, 6 each time. Okay, so the next difference will then be, okay, so 6 and 9. So it will be 15 minus 9. 15 minus 9 is then equal to 6. So how we'll find our answer is by doing 42 and it will be minus 6. So 42 minus 6 will then give us the answer of 36. So the answer is 36. Okay, question 14. It goes 4, 9, 19, 39, and 72. So here we are adding by 5, then 10, then 20, and then 40. So next we'll be adding by 40 times 2, which is 80. So 79 plus 80. We can do this with the column method. So 79 plus 80 will be, 9, and 7 plus 8 is 150. So the answer will be 159. Okay, 12, 24, 36, 60, and then 96. Okay, so 12 to 24, we're adding 12. For 24 to 36, we are also adding 12. So and then 60 to 36, or 36 to 60, we're adding 24. And then for 60 to 96, we're adding 36. So here we can see it's multiplying by 1, 2, and then 3 times 12. So next will be 12 times 4, which is 48. So 96 plus 48. Okay. So 36, 24, 12, and 12. So it's 2, 4, 6, Okay. So the pattern is that we are taking the last two numbers and adding them together. So 36 plus 24 equals 60. So 96 plus 60. 96 plus 60, add 6, and then 50. So the answer will be 156. Because we're taking the last two numbers and adding them together to find the value that we should add. Then 16, we have 480 to 240, so that's a division of 2, and that's repeated until 60, so the answer will be 30. Okay, let's move on to question 17. So there is 1, 8, 27 and 64, so this will require knowledge of cube numbers. So 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 9, and 4 cubed is 64. So we can expect our answer to be 5 cubed, which is like doing 5 times 5 times 5, which is like 25 times 5, and the answer to that is 125. The answer is 125 here. And then we have question 18, so 1, 4, 9, 16, something, and then 36. So looking at this, what we can do is, well, we can be looking at square numbers. So 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, and then the answer will be 5 squared, which is 25. Okay, let's move on to the next section, which is here. Complete the sentence and word codes. So here we...
Alright, verbal reasoning, complete the alphabet series. So, as you can see on the example here, what you have to do is look at the first letter. So this is a series of letter pairs, basically. So K, E, L, G, etc. And what you have to do from the example is you say, how did I get from K to L? How did I get from L to N, etc.? Like, what is the sequence there? And that's going to allow you to figure out how do I go from U to what the next one is, okay? So we can see, how do we get from K to L? If you look at the alphabet up here, we just moved 1 to the right. L to N was moving 2, N to Q was moving 3, so you know the next one is 4, the next one's going to be 5, okay? So that we know the first letter is going to be Z, and if we're looking at the second side, so how did I get from E to G? First I moved 2, and then G to H I just moved 1, and then H to J I moved 2, and then J to K I moved 1, so you know the next one is going to be a 2 move, which is going to be ZM, okay? So that is the answer here. Same thing for the next one. How did I get from L to J? Well, I moved backwards by 2, so I'm just going to rub these out if it lets me. There you go. I moved backwards by 2. J to G I moved backwards by, well, I'd say 3, and then G to C I moved backwards by 4, etc. Okay, so with X I'm going to move backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's going to be R, because this was 5, this was 6. Okay, so 5 and then 6. There we go. And then the rule for the second letter is, if you look at this, from F to J we plussed 4, from J to H we minused 2, from H to L we plussed 4, right? And what do I mean by plus? Again, I'm talking about how did I get from H to L? Well, I moved forward 1, 2, 3, 4 times, okay? So that's all we're doing here. So when we move J, we go plus 4 from J, it's going to give us N, okay? And use the alphabet to help you here. So I'm just going to walk through the rest of the rules that we've got here, and this is all you have to do, is just figure out the rule. Always look for, at least, if you want to save time, go and find the rule that's going on between the first 3, and then you can just do that rule for the last one, okay? But don't do just 2, because you're not going to find the real rule, because it could be a changing rule, if that makes sense. So for 36, it is starting off with, I mean, the first letter is just going up by 1, then by 2, then by 3, then by 4. So from here it's going to be R. It's going to go forward 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be W. And for the second letter, these are all just going backwards by 2, right? So that's going to be W, B, went backwards by 2. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to give you the rules here, because there's not much else to teach here. As long as you know the rule, this is going to explain how you got from etc. to etc. So for the first letter on question 37, it's plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. So this one is K plus 5, meaning you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be P. And for this one is a big one. Let's have a look at this. From Z to I. Okay, so you could do subtracting. I think you could also wrap around, right? You can go. So it went from Z to A was plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it was plus 9. And then from I to X is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. And then X to K is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus 13. Plus 15. Sorry, I forgot. So 8 is Z to. Oh, I've been making a mistake here. My mistake. So yeah, no, Z to I. I think that was, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's plus 9. Then it was plus 15 from I to X, and then it was plus 13 from X to K. And then from K to V, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, 11, sorry, plus 11. Alright, so you have to look for the pattern in this sequence of things that are going on, right? So there's not much of a sequence here, 9, 15, 13, 11. So what you want to do is potentially look at, alright, let's just stick with not wrapping around. Let's just go backwards. So how did I get from Z to I, right? Well, I actually minused by 17. So instead of going forward, I'm going to minus by 17. And how do I get from I to X? I plussed by 15. How do I get from X to K? I minused by 13. So now you can see a bit of a pattern here. You can almost see that every time it's doing like 2 less, okay? And how do you get from K to V? Right here, it was plus 11. And then what you're going to do, so you can see here 17, 15, 13, 11, right? These are all 2 less each time. So the next one is going to be by 9, and it's going to be a subtract, okay? So sorry that I got a bit messy, but if I just once again sort of write out the sequence, this will make a bit more sense. So there you go, minus 17 plus 15, minus 13 plus 11, minus 9. Okay, so from minus 9 from V is going to get you to M. And you can also see that visually on the actual alphabet, if I showed you. So it went Z backwards to I, and then you can see from I it went to X. You can see it's actually 2 apart from Z. And then what happened from there, it went back to K, which is 2 apart from I, and then it went back to V, which is 2 apart from X. The next one is obviously going to be M, okay? So that sometimes it's a bit easier to just look at it visually as well, right? And using arrows can be helpful there as well. Next one, so for this one, it's a similar one. It's minus 12 from A, sorry, when I look at this, minus 12 from P to D, and then it's plus 15, minus 12, plus 15. So from V, do minus 12, and that gets you to J. And with the second letter here, there is no real pattern if you look from letter to letter. So then at that point what you want to look at is potentially a skipping pattern, which would be how do we go from R to N and N to J. So R to N is -4, N to J is -4. Okay, so you can see there's a skipping pattern. How do we go from O to Q? We do +2, so Q is going to be +2, which is going to give you S. Okay, so we had the first letter as J, second letter as S. Okay, because you do Q +2, it's a skipping pattern there. All right, and you should always look for that if you can't find any pattern. Okay, question 39. So for the final few, we're just going to pop up the explanations onto screen. Again, these are on the answer key as well. But if you have any issues or you're still struggling with them, just bring them into Homework Club for the next session and ask one of the assistants. So with these questions, number relationships, you have to figure out how do the outside numbers relate to the number in the middle. Once you've found out that rule, then you apply it to find out the missing number here. You can see with this one you just multiply 3 and 9 to make 27, 5 and 4 to make 20, etc. Alright. So what we're going to do for these ones is you want to figure out what could it potentially be. So 33, how could that relate to 5 and 7? Well, if we do 7 times 5 we get 35, and that's close to 33. So maybe it's multiply the outer two numbers and subtract by 2. So if we try that, 6 times 4 is 24, subtract by 2 is 22. That works, that is the rule. So 3 times 9 minus 2 is going to be 25. For the next one, again, look at 20 and think about what can I do to make something that is similar to 20. So if you do 4 plus 12 is 16, what do I have to do to 16 to make 20? Well, add 4. So it's 4 plus 12 and then add the left side again. Alright, 8 plus 9, then add the 8 again, which is going to give you 25. And then same thing, right? 7 plus 3 is 20. Add the 7 again, you're going to get 27. Okay, and again, how do you figure that out? Well, you want to do different operations with these two outside numbers. So adding them together is going to get us closest to 20. So I want to try that first, if that makes sense, right? Question 46. This one looks pretty simple. You should be able to spot already that you just subtract 62 and 19 and you're going to get 43. Subtract these two, you get 26. So if you subtract these two, you are going to get 19. Alright, question 47. 28. So I'm thinking already 5 times 3 gives me 15, which is still a good way away from 28. Potentially what else we want to try is squaring the left, so that would give us 25, and then you can add the 3, and then you got 28. So if you square the left you get 9, add the 7 you get 16. So you just really want to just do as many operations as you can that can make you as close to this number as possible, and then potentially you're going to find the answer, if that makes sense. So it is a bit about, again, just testing and trying these out. These are very difficult questions though, so in the exam leave these to the end if you can. You want to get the easier marks on different question types, right? Unless you're naturally sort of find these easy, which you could. So again, square of 4 is 16, add the 8 is going to give you 24. Okay. So with this one, again, I'm thinking about subtracting 9 and 26 to get close to 14, but that gives me 15, I believe. Sorry, that gives me 17 actually. If I do 7 minus 3, that gives me 3. So I can see the similarity there is you subtract these two and then you subtract by 3, subtract these two and then subtract by 3. So 13 and 22 is going to be 9, and then subtract by 3 is going to be 6. So question 49, you have to square both of the outer numbers to get 36 and 4, and you add them together. Same thing with here, 25 and 9, add them together, 49 and 100. If you add those together, you get 149. Question 50 is a very difficult one. Again, try to think about what numbers could you make with 19 that could go into 60. So, I mean, what we have here is apparently we have to subtract the right side by 7. So that will give us 12. Okay, this one would, I mean, let's just work with this one. It will give us 12. Then we have to divide that by 4, and that will give us 3. And then we just do 3 multiplied by these two added together. So like 20 times 3. Okay, and to be honest, you won't get given a question that's this difficult in the actual exam. I think the thing that you can take away from this is you've got 19 and 1, right? That makes 20. And that is very close to being 60. Okay, all you have to do is multiply that by 3 to get to 60. The thing you have to do first is subtract by 7 to get to, I think it's 8, right? And then you divide 8 by 4 to get to 2. And then you do 2 multiplied by these two added together, right? Which is 21 times 2, okay? So rather than it just being adding them together and multiplying by whatever number you get, you have to sort of figure out, this is what you have to figure out first, right? You have to figure out, okay, I've got these two numbers, and I can make 60 from 20 times 3, I can make this from 21 times 2, but where did I get the 2 from? And that's what you have to do backwards. So that's when you find the rule of, you have to subtract this by 7, then divide it by 4 to get the 3, subtract this by 7, then divide it by 4 to get the 4. So again, same thing here. If you add these two together, you're going to get 38, right? And then you're going to have to multiply it by something. You have to figure out what that is. We subtract this by 7 and then divide it by 4, right? So that is 8 divided by 4, which is 2. So that means we have to multiply this by 2, and that's going to be 76, right? So yeah, long-winded one there. Again, this is just sort of stretching you, very much stretching you. You're not going to have to do something this difficult in the exam, but good to use those skills. So question 51 and 52, we can ignore these ones. It seems like these questions are broken, so please skip these two. For the last one, you can see clearly it's 9 divided by 27 to get 3, 56 divided by 7 to get 8, and then obviously you've got 12, and 12 divided by 14 doesn't necessarily work, but if you round it to the nearest number you get 1. So for number relationships 54, I'm just going to go through the explanation very quickly for each of these, but note down which ones, note down the sort of rules that are coming up. If you got it wrong or you were struggling with it, note that down because it's a rule that could potentially come up in the exam. Okay, the first one here is you multiply the left and the right numbers, and then you add back the left number, I believe. So 25 plus 5 is 30. To double check that, you get 8 times 3, you get 24, and you add the 3, gives you 27. Okay, so if you do 6 times 7 plus 7, you'll get 49. For question 55, the rule here is that you add these two together and then you double it. Alright, if you do the same thing here, you'll get the same answer, and then for here you'd get 18, and you double that and you get 36. For question 56, the rule here, you want to look carefully as well, just in terms of how you can find the rule. 13 is not a number you can usually really make with these two. So you want to think of other ways, right? If you have a 5, what do you need to add to a 5 to make 13? Well, you need to add 8, okay? Can I make 8 from 4? Well, yes, you double the 4 to make 8, and then you can add that to the right side. So do the same thing here. 14, add that to the 5, you get 19. So this one's going to be 12, add that to 9, and you're going to get 21. Alright, question 57. Once again, we've got an option here where it's 34. You can't directly make that number. Think about what can you do with these numbers. Well, if we multiply these two, we can get 48. Can I do anything with 48 to make 34? Well, think about what would I have to do? I'd have to subtract 14 from it, okay? And can I make 14 with these two numbers? Well, yes, if I add 8 and 6 together, I get 14. So what I've done here is I have to, first of all, times these two to make 48, and then I have to add these two to make 14, and then I do the first answer minus the second answer. So it's a long-winded one here. Try that on this one. 7 times 5, you get 35. And 7 minus 5 is... 7 add 5 is 12. You subtract that, you get your answer. Alright, if you do the same thing on this one, what you'll get is D, 23. Okay? Question 58. Once again, this is very simple. 4 plus 5 is going to be 9. 7 plus 3 is 10. 6 plus 8 is 14. Question 59. This just seems to be 5 plus 5, but then add 1. 8 plus 3, and then add 1. 4 plus 9, and then add 1. So that's going to be 14. Question 60. So this seems to initially looks like if you double the 5 you get 10, and then you add the 3 to that, you can get 13. And it seems to be 12, and then you add the 4, you get 16. So this one, double it, add the 5, you're going to get 19. Question 61. Same idea this time, but on the left side, so you double it and you add the right number. And this is something that you just have to get used to looking out for, okay? If you see 17, you should immediately sort of think in your head 5 can easily make 10, and I can just add 7 to that. So that's going to be the pattern here. This one's easy, we multiply both of these. So 6 times 3 is going to be 18. Question 63. Once again, you're looking at, well, what can I do? What numbers can I make that might potentially lead me to 18? So I'm thinking already 4 times 5 gives me 20, but there's no real way to get from 20 to 18. So look at some other options here. If we do 4 plus 5 is 9, there we go. We have to double that to get 18. 6 plus 4 is 10, double that to get 20. 7 plus 3 is 10, double that to get 20, which is option D. Question 64. This one right here. 4 times 4 is 16, and then you add the 4. 3 times 5 is 15, and you add the 3. So it seems like you have to add the left side here. So it's going to be 12, and you add the left side back on. It's going to be 18. And then question 65. I've already drawn on this. I'm just going to walk through it again. So initially you're looking at, again, 8 and 12. 8 and 6, like what can I do to make something that would make 12? So my immediate thought, obviously 6 times 2 would make 12, but that doesn't seem to match here. What you can do is, what numbers can I use? Like if I add a 6, maybe I have to make a 2 somehow. So if you do 8 minus 6, you get a 2, right? So you're doing left minus right to get 2, and then you multiply that result by 6. So 2 times 6 is 12. Alright, hopefully that you can follow. So we did the left minus the right, which makes 1. And then what you want to do is you do 1 times 4. It gives you 4. Okay. Again, left minus right gives you this time 6. And then you 6 times 3, it's going to be 18. Alright.
Okay, proofreading. So identify any spelling mistakes. Okay, 1. Curiosity is a useful feeling because it leads you to inquire and gain knowledge. Okay, so with this one, you can see curiosity has been spelled as curiosity. So really, it should be spelled as curiosity without the U. So Curiosity. Okay, 2. Nobody knew what had happened to the 2 children after that disappeared one day. This one is what happened. So happened has been spelled wrong. It should be Happpened. So Happpened. Okay, 3. Although Ella loves her family's support, she also values being independent. So this one is independent. So it should be spelled as Independent. Independent. So the A should be replaced by an E. Okay, 4. At the zoo, they saw koala bears, tigers, giraffes, and birds locked in cages. So 4 is none. Yeah, this is no mistake. 5. My friends walked across the mountain to reach the temple on the other side. This one is it's across. Across. So across should instead just have one C, and it should be spelled Across. And then 6. They laid flowers at the grave in the quiet and peaceful village cemetery. So this one is cemetery. So cemetery should instead be spelled as Cemet. So it's cemetery. So Cemetery. Next is 7. So whales are able to quickly identify relevant sounds made by other whales in the ocean. So this one is relevant. So relevant should be spelled Relevant. Relevant. So Relevant. Okay, next is 8. The sheer variety of sights, sounds, and colours in India is simply astounding. So this one will be sheer. So sheer should be spelled as Sheer rather than Ear. Okay, 9. The entrepreneur stated that his conscience would not allow him to complete the deal. 9 has no mistakes. 10. Crying tears of joy, the conductor sincerely and profusely thanked the audience. So 10 is going to be sincerely. It should be spelled as Sincerely. So Sincerely. 11. The saxophone player had been studying jazz music for more than a decade. So 11 is going to be saxophone. So that'll be Saxophone. So saxophone. 12. There was no doubt in his mind that physics was the best subject to study. So this is physics. It should be spelled as Physics. Okay, 13. All the politicians assembled in the government building for the meeting. So this one is government. So government should be spelled as Government. Okay, 14. Katie was the only student in the class who wanted to be a soldier when she grew up. 14 is... no mistake. No mistake with this one. Okay, 15. The poet detested writing the verse that rhymed, and so she avoided it at all costs. So it rhymed should be spelled differently. The I should be replaced by a Y. So RHYMED rather than RHIMED. So it rhymed. RHYMED rhymed. Okay, next is 16. Words are able to... Oh, this is the same as 7. So words are able to quickly identify relevant sounds made by other words in the ocean. So this will be the relevant again. So relevant should be replaced by RELEVANT. Relevant. Okay, that is spelling. So next is capital letters. So capital letters. Okay. So the Woodstock neighbourhood in Cape Town is famous. Oh, it's all capital letters or punctuation. Okay, so the Woodstock neighbourhood in Cape Town is famous for its industrial heritage. Well, this one should be Woodstock, and it should have capital W because it's the name of a town. Okay, 2. I've yet to hear a valid reason to excuse your son's behaviour, stated Mrs. Holder. This one is... I've yet to hear a valid reason to excuse your son's behaviour. Okay, there's a full stop within the speech marks. This one is... Oh, no mistake with this one. Okay. So, no mistake. Oh, no mistake here. Okay, 3. The church is slightly to the west of the park, around 200 metres beyond the station. So 3 is... west. So west should be spelled with a lowercase w. 4. Davina continued to stare in wonder at her polished, gleaming, one-of-a-kind ring. So 4 should be... so a comma after polished. So because you're listing the adjectives of the ring, you're saying it's polished, gleaming, and one-of-a-kind ring. Next is a 5. So there's not much time left. Well, Christina, we need to act now before it's too late. Okay, so this one is... before it's too late. So there should be an apostrophe after the it. So for it is too late because it's a shortened version of it is. Next is 6. So there should have an apostrophe. Planning to go to the club after the game to have dinner and socialise. So yeah, this will be the apostrophe in there because it's the abbreviated form of they are. Okay, next is the same thing but with a passage. So it was a cold, rainy day and the children sat around gazing out the classroom window. This one is... so cold, rainy day. Okay. It's been raining for hours, moaned Stephanie. I wanted to play outside this lunchtime. This one is it, so it should be an apostrophe after the T rather than after the S. So you can cross that out. So it has been raining for hours, moaned Stephanie. I wanted to play outside this lunchtime. They'd spent the morning working on their history project work, and after that they took, so this one will be they spent the morning working, so there shouldn't be a comma there, and then 10. So they took a test on mixed fractions. So fractions shouldn't have an apostrophe. So they took a test on mixed fractions. Now all they wanted to do was to eat their lunch and run around. So 10 is the fractions. So 11, letting off some steam. Roger and Millie were trying to play chess in the book corner. So this will be... so there shouldn't be a comma there. So trying to play chess in the book corner. 12. Nathan was so bored that he decided to continue working on his project. What a creep. So this will be a capital W. 13. What do you think you're doing? Asked Tim. Haven't you done enough work already? So 13 is going to be an apostrophe after the N, and you can remove the one after the E. Haven't you done enough work already? 14. I've just thought, said Anne. We're supposed to be having games outside this afternoon. So this one is... Well, there should be a full stop after the thought. I've just thought, full stop, said Anne. We're supposed to be having games outside this afternoon. Okay, 15. Tick the box next to the option that is punctuated incorrectly. So there's Melvin was scared, : he couldn't remember the way home. B. Welcome, Clarissa beamed. Make yourself at home. C. I put on my coat, a green waterproof, before going outside. Oh dear, Jean sighed, looking at Sarah's mug broken on the floor. So this one... Okay, so... we know that B is correct, so we can cross that off. Same with C. It's between A and D. Well, the colon used in A, the colon should be used for listing. Although a full stop should be used within the speech marks of D in oh dear. The more incorrect one would be D, so yeah. You could still use colon there, but yeah, this one will be D. So oh dear, she sighed, looking at Sarah's broken mug on the floor. Okay, so next is best word. So the pupils in class 6 always have something quiet reading session after lunch. So they always have, well, it's pupils, so it's plural. So it'll be, they always have their, so THEIR, the possessive one. If we use their, as in the first one, it'll be looking at a place. There is possessive. Theirs is not really used, but it's saying like, all I know is, it's used for like there is. There here is used as they are, and theirs is always have like theirs is also possessive, but it's used in a more plural way. So yeah, the pupils in class 6 always have their quiet reading session after lunch. So theirs in the last one would be more as saying like, it is theirs. So you're saying like the book was theirs, or you're referring to someone and saying that they own something, or like in a possessive way. So 2. Finn something his favourite game into school to play with his friends. So Finn, well, it's not going to be bought, because bought is when you're buying something. Brought, it could be brought because he's bringing it, but it's not going to be bring because that's not past tense, and brung is just grammatically incorrect, and bringing is present, so no. So the answer will be brought. BROUGHT. Okay, 3. Hannah walked past the something instructions on the well. So Hannah walked past the, well, it could be right, but comparing to the other options, no. Same with the writing, also right. Could be written. It's not going to be right, so yeah, it'll be Hannah walked past the written WRITTEN instructions on the wall. Okay, 4. The class recited the alphabet something. So the class recited the alphabet all, the class recited the alphabet all two, or the class recited the alphabet all together, or togethered. Well, it's not all two, it's all together, well, it's not togethered, so it's going to be between all together and all together. So all together is in the first one, the one on the left here, is used in a way where you're saying like, the difference is that, well, all together is more used as like, it's used as an adverb, whereas then like all together is in this one is saying like, it's basically more like referring to many people with each other. So in this context, we're saying the class recited the alphabet all together. So this one is going to be, it's going to be all together like the second one, because it's not an adverb. So here it's going to be all together. They recited the alphabet all together. Okay, so next is 5. Zoe was excited to find that her granddad had been something to in a war journal, had been referred, referable, inferred, inference, or referring. Well, first we know that this one isn't going to be inferred or inference, because it just wouldn't make sense. And then we're left with referred, referable, or referring. Well, it's not referable because that just wouldn't make sense grammatically. And then same with referring. Had been referring, well, that would be present tense, but this is past tense. So it's going to be the first option, which is referred. R-E-F-E-R-R-E-D. So yeah, R-E-F-E-R-R-E-D, referred to in a war journal. Alright, next is 6. So the sun burned down something. So this will be fiercely. The sun burned down fiercely. So adverb fiercely. Spelled F-I-E-R-C-E-L-Y. As the soldiers, well, this will be like an army soldier. So this will be S-O-L-D-I-E-R-S. Toiled, carrying logs and planks to the something. To the main base, M-A-I-N, where they would construct their, fort, and fort is spelled F-O-R-T. First they dug deep holes, so that'll be H-O-L-E-S, in which they would place the largest pieces, so pieces is in P-I-E-C-E-S, so pieces. These would hold up the walls. Next they would attach. So attach is spelled A-T-T-A-C-H. So A-T-T-A-C-H will be the first option. So attach spelled like this. Attach, A-T-T-A-C-H. Heavy floorboards to give something strength. So more strength. More is spelled as M-O-R-E. More strength. 14. Next they would add the something. So it would be the ceiling. Ceiling is spelled C-E-I-L-I-N-G. So you can see in Best Word they do this where they'll give you like lots of homophones. So ceiling is spelled CEILING. So that will be this one, the third option. The final part to go up would be the something roof. So this is massive. So MASSIVE. Once again, they're giving you lots of homophones. So this will be this one. Okay, 10. Okay, so a train leaves Ashton Station at 10:47 and arrives at London at 12:24. So how long did the journey take? So how we can work this out is first we can find the time until 11. So just for explanation's sake, we can write 10:47 plus 13 minutes. I'll just write M. Will then be 11, so that's 13. And then plus 1 hour will then bring us to 12. And then plus 24 will bring us to our answer. So 24 minutes plus 13 minutes will give us 37 minutes plus 1 hour. So it will be 1 hour and 37 minutes. So you could also write this in just minutes, but for this we'll be writing 1 hour and 37 minutes. So a film lasts 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I start watching it at 7:45. So what time does it finish? So first we had 2 hours, so it'll be 9. And then we add 20. So first we have the 9:45 plus 20 minutes will then equal to 10:05. So your answer will be 10:05 PM, and you give it in the same 12-hour format. Next, Chris's school day starts at 8:30, and before break he has three 45-minute lessons with a 5-minute moving period between lessons. Break starts as soon as lesson 3 ends. So what time does it start? So it starts at 8:30, and then before break there are 3 45-minute lessons with a 5-minute moving lesson. So you add 50 minutes 3 times, because it's 45 plus 5, and then add another 45, and another 5, and another 45, and then another 5. You add 45 plus 5, and then 45, then another 5, and then 45. So we're adding 50, 50, and then 5. So 105 minutes. So 8:30 plus 105 minutes. So 105 minutes will be 60, it'll be 60, and then 45. So first we're adding an hour, so plus that 60 will be 9:30, and then 9:30 we're going to be adding 45, and then that will give us 10. So okay, we're adding 45. Yes, okay. So what we're doing is, so we'll be taking out 8:30, and first we add 45. That'll then give us 9:15. Then the 5-minute break will bring us to 9:20, and then we have another 45 minutes. And that'll then be 10:05. So then after that 45 minutes, we have a 5-minute break for the move-in time. So it'll be 10:10 plus 45 will give us our answer. So 10:55. Okay, so the answer will be 10 10:55, and you should specify AM. So break will start at 10:55 AM. Okay, Harry says that 5.2 minutes is 320 seconds, and is he correct? So we must show our full working. Okay, so 5.2 minutes is like having, well, firstly we learned that 60 seconds in each minute, so it would be 60 times by 5, so 60 times 5 is 300, but then 0.2 of a minute is like saying 0.2 times by 60. So we know that 0.1 is will be 6, so 0.2 will be 12. So 12. So the answer would actually be 312. So the answer will be 312 minutes. Then we have to change 2.8 hours into minutes. So 2.8 hours into minutes. So we have 2 hours, which is 60 minutes. So 60 times by 2 is 120. And then 0.8 of an hour, so 0.8 times by the 60 minutes will be, well, the 6 times 8, so 48 minutes. So then 120 plus 48 will then be equal to 168. So the answer to question 5 will be 168 minutes. Next, Peter's competition was due to start at 9:15, and the time allowed to complete the paper was 2 hours. Because he had a dentist appointment booked at 11 AM, he was allowed to start the paper 20 minutes early and leave the hall as soon as he had finished. If he took an hour and a half to complete the paper, what time did he leave? Okay, so he started 20 minutes early, so he started at 8:55. So 8:55, and then he took an hour and a half, so plus an hour will be 9:55, and then 9:55 plus 30 minutes. So it will be 10, the answer to question 6 will be 10:25. So 10:25. And 312 minutes in hours and minutes. So first we divided 60 to get the number of hours. So 312 over 60 will be 5 hours. And then that'll leave us with 12 minutes. So the answer will be 5 hours and 12 minutes. Okay, next we find question at page 11, which is here. So our bus left at 11:43 and the journey is 47 minutes, so when did it arrive? So 11:45, we then just simply add our 47 minutes. So first we can add 7 to get 11:50, and then we add 40 minutes onto that, so 11:50 plus 40 minutes will be then 12:30. So the answer to question 8 will be 12:30, and you must specify PM. Okay, so a train leaves London, King's Cross, at 11:20 and arrives at Leeds at 2:05. So how long does the journey take? So 11:20 to 2:05, so we're finding the time between it. And the answer to this one will be 2 hours, because 11 plus 2 is 1. And then we add on, so then it's 120 plus 45 minutes will bring it to our answer of 2:05, or the time of 2:05. So the answer is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Okay, a coach left London Victoria 5 minutes late at 1:45 and arrived in Banbury 40 minutes early. So how long should the journey have taken? So first we have to find the time that the journey actually takes. So we need to know that it's 1:45 to 5:05, so we can add 1 hour, so that's an hour and 20 minutes at first. So 1 hour 20, but then it was 5 minutes late, so it should have actually been, okay, so then what we have to do is we have to subtract those 5 minutes. Yeah, so we need to subtract 5 minutes, which will be 1 hour 15. But then it was 14 minutes early, which means that with our 1 hour 15, what we have to do is wait, I see what's happened here. Okay, so between 1:45 and 5, what we're doing is we're adding 3 hours. Okay, so yeah, it's adding 3 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, 3 hour 20. And then with our 3 hour 20, what we have to do is then, because it was 5 minutes late, it shouldn't have left at 1:40. It should have left at 1:40. So it should have been 1:40 to 5:19, and then we have to find the time between that, which is 3 hours and 39 minutes. Okay, next, a film starts at 6:45 and lasts for 2 hours and 35 minutes. So what time will it finish? Well, this is 6:45 plus 2 hours, so 8:45, and then 8:45 plus 35 minutes will be 9:20 p.m. Next, my watch started going backwards at the same pace as it should have gone forward at 2:20 p.m. yesterday. Later the same day, it read 1:25 p.m. So what was the actual time? So how we find this is we find the time between this. So if it started going back at 2:20, we then find the time difference between 2:20 and 1:25. So what you have to do is you have to find the time difference. So between 2:20 and 1:25, the time difference is going to be 55 minutes. So then you add that onto 2:20, and your answer will be 3:15. So 3:15 p.m. Next, the 15th of April was a Monday. So what day was the 5th of March of the same year? So if the 15th of April was a Monday, then we just have to find the time, we have to identify the number of days in between. So in January there are 31 days, February there are 30, March there are 31, April there are 30. So first we have to subtract 15 days, so and find the day of the 1st of April. So the 1st of April is going to be, well, because it's 15, the 1st of April would then be, well, subtract 14 is Monday, so the 1st will be a Sunday, so 1st of April equals Sunday. So then the day of the 5th of March, well, that would then be 31 minus 5, 26 days ago. So then you do your 26 and divide it into the 7, so it will be 3 Sunday. So you know that it will be the week of 21 days ago. So the 10th is going to be a Sunday. 10th of March will be a Sunday. And then you can just go back. So the 9th of March will be a Saturday. 6th, 8th will be a Friday. 7th, 6th, and 5th. So Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. So given that, the answer to question 13 is Tuesday. Okay, and here is a calendar for August 2017. So how many, there are twice as many August days before Adam's birthday as there are after his birthday. So which date is his birthday? So twice as many days before as there are after, so we have to split the 31 into a set of 3. So, and that will be, 31 days are split into 3, so that'll be 28. No. It'll be around 10. So it goes 10, 20. So his birthday will be on the 21st. So 21st of August, or you can write it in words too. Next is 12, which here is matrices. Oh no. 12 will be, where is this? Here, angles. Okay, so in the diagram AB is a straight line with a value of A, so we know that there's 180 degrees in the triangle, so minus 48, so 180 minus 48 will be 132, and then you divide that by 3 to find A, so that'll be 44. So your answer is 44. Next, in 25 minutes, what angle does the hand of a clock pass? So that will be, that'll be the angle of 25 over 60. So that angle will then be your 25, and because it's 60, you must multiply it by 6. So the answer is 150. So 25 over 60 will be like your 360. You times it by your 6 to get 150. So one of the angles in an isosceles triangle is 102 degrees. So which of these is a possible size of another angle? So the answer to question 3 will be 39. This is because you could then have like 39 times 2, and then you can add your 102. So find the missing angles, diagrams, and not to scale. Okay, so C is going to be equal to 87. So that means that C will be 87. We know that A is going to be 180 degrees. So A is, 180 degrees minus 87 minus 35. So 180 minus 87 minus 35 equals 58. And then B will